Hey everybody, so Valentine's Day is coming up, and what's better than a Valentine's Day dessert of red velvet? We have a few red velvet recipes we found online. We're going to try them. First one I'm making is a red velvet cheesecake bar because Greg likes cheesecake. I don't like cheesecake. So we're making this for him and everybody else in the family that likes cheesecake except for me.
The cleanup crew has arrived.
So we'll go through and we'll make this real quick, show you how it turns out in the end, get some sample taste test, and put a recipe below for you if you decide you want to make it yourself. And let's get this going. Melted butter, erythritol, vanilla, pink salt, we'll just do a little extra, cocoa powder, food coloring. Oh, I ran out. So it's interesting, the history of red velvet, if you ever look it up. I just looked it up recently. And it actually started out as a more natural occurrence rather than adding in the food coloring, because they used to use raw, unprocessed, and I don't know how to say it correctly, but it's cacao or keko. I don't know how to say it. It's cacao. C-A-C-A-O. It's kind of like somebody saying cacao. Cacao. And the reason why is because it would react with the buttermilk that you usually put in red velvet baked goods, and it kind of reacts, making that reddish tint. And then some guy back in the 1800s or some point kind of found himself a cash cow and thought, I can make an extract or a food coloring out of this and get it prepared, or get it approved by the FDA and start selling it. So he made quite a bit of money on that. Apple cider vinegar, and we put in the eggs and we whisk it. Next is the almond flour. Then we put all except for a third of a cup. Pour most of it in our prepared pan. Spread this out. So I'm gonna clean this pan out and we'll do the next part. Alright, now for the cream cheese layer. Start out with the softened cream cheese, more erythritol, more egg, more vanilla. You're just lucky it didn't get on your phone.
I think you're just lucky it didn't get on my phone.
Alright. Cream cheese layer goes on top of the red velvet layer. Pour that on top. Alright, and then we're going to spread that out too. And I think for my own little twist on this part, I'm going to take that third of cup that we saved out and put it in a baggie. And then apparently she thinks the camera is food. So I put the remaining, or the stuff, the third cup we had out, put it in a baggie and snipped a tip.
Just a tip.
And we're just going to kind of swirl it on there so that it gets a better, it's not all globby in one area. And then you just take a knife and swirl it all around. All right, and then we're gonna put it in our 350 degree preheated oven for 30 minutes. All right, so we pulled this out of the oven. When I first checked on it at 20 or 30 minutes, the middle was still very jiggly. I put a toothpick in, it came out completely raw. So I set it for another 20 minutes. So let's cut along the edge here. It's cooled off for about 10 minutes now, cool enough that I can touch the pan without it burning me. So let's cut into it and see. Cut's really easy. It's like a hot knife through butter. So let's get some taste testers going. All right, so we have Mason. Gonna try the red velvet cheesecake bar.
Suspicious.
That's just the red velvet part. You gotta try the cheesecake part.
Okay.
So I like the red velvet part. The cheesecake part is a little bit weird though.
What's weird about it?
I don't like how the taste of the cheese doesn't go with the red velvet, I don't think.
Really?
But it's good.
So you would eat it?
Yeah.
Like you would willingly.
I eat this piece willingly.
I don't know how to take that from him.
Well, it's like anything. It means that he's not going to waste food, but he's certainly not going to seek it out either. Did I accurately represent that?
For the most part.
Yeah. He doesn't have a sweet tooth like you and Morgan.
Yeah, that's true.
Neither does Adam,
Sweet
really.
speaking nauseous.
So, can you tell it's keto? Because you've had red velvet before, you've had cheesecake before.
I definitely wouldn't call it cheesecake.
Maybe that's why I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of good.
But it tastes like red velvet,
All right,
I think.
that
We
works.
need to get the red velvet expert down here.
Now we have the resident sweet tooth queen, who is also the resident red velvet expert. Sniff away.
Thank you. It smells real.
It is real.
No, it smells real, like real.
Like
Stuff.
real food that it's made out of?
No, like a
I think
real.
she means like real sugar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try some of this too. I did try a little bit.
Evidently it tastes real because she's going by for seconds before that one's even chewed.
The erythritol is weird.
Why is it weird?
Because it makes, like, it was only on the side of my tongue, but it got cold, and I don't like that. That's why I don't like erythritol, or however you say it.
Erythritol.
Well, we have buttertol. Put that in place.
Anyway, for not being a fan of cheesecake, I'll eat this. I am eating this. It's pretty darn good. Does it taste keto?
She just said the erythritol.
Yeah.
I don't notice it.
Well, it's because you're sugar depraved for...
No, but I noticed it with those cookies I made. I noticed the cooling
yeah.
sensation. I don't notice it with this.
I noticed it a little, but it's not like the cookies were.
Is it sweet enough, Morgan?
No.
No.
What?
Well, you're certainly not having any issue shoving it in your mouth. With considering that it's chili that you didn't eat, I assume that's only because it's Morgan approved.
So, I can kind of see what Morgan's saying about it's not sweet enough. Because when you get just the red velvet by itself, you get the kind of light flavoring of chocolate. It's definitely not a dark chocolate like most keto stuff is. So you get the light chocolate flavor. But I don't think it's bad. I think it is pretty on par with red velvet, normal, like red velvet stuff. Because it's not overly sweet.
It's when you say it's keto, then it's probably one of the best keto cheesecake red velvet recipes, but it's not on par with normal red velvet. at all.
This is coming from the red velvet expert, I guess. Greg is up next.
Red velvet cheesecake for Valentine's Day. Now, I'm a big fan of cheesecake. Not a big fan of red velvet though, so this will be interesting. So the bottom is cake, yes? Cake-ish texture.
The recipe said it was like a brownie.
Okay, so it's like a brownie on the bottom and a cheesecake on the top.
Mm-hmm. And it was refrigerated overnight.
It's not bad, but the cheesecake feels more like a frosting at this point. I think the red velvet's got a decent flavor though.
Maybe the cheesecake being more like a frosting is the reason why I liked it.
That could be. Yeah, it doesn't taste like I mean, it doesn't not taste like cheesecake. Because it has a little bit of that cream cheesy
Tang.
flavor to it. But not any cheesecake that I recall. But then again, it could be because of the chocolatiness of the red velvet. It's decent. I could eat that. I think the brownie texture is pretty much on point. It is kind of like a brownie. It's just like a frosted brownie, but it does have like a cheesecake frosting ish. It's dense, but once you put it in your mouth, it does sort of dissolve.
That's the finger, baby.
Don't touch me with that. You have to wash it since you pooped your pants.
No.
Do you guys know how to bake toilet paper?
Put it in the oven. Burns.
Do you know how to bake toilet paper?
Why would I need to know how to do that?
Why would one bake toilet paper?
Well, I don't know, but I can only get one side browned. We'll now be having a brief intermission as the dog licks from her water bowl. Sometimes this takes a while.